In the previous chapters, we have learned that whenever current is passed through a conductor, it will develop magnetic field around it. That means a current carrying conductor can produce magnetic field. Now, scientists have thought that when a current carrying conductor is able to produce magnetic field, why not magnetic field produce current? In order to know that, a scientist called Faraday has done some experiment. Let's see those experiments. Experiment 1. If you see this here in the picture, you have two solenoid coils which are connected to a galvanometer and separated at certain distance. In between the two coils there is a bar magnet such that the north pole is facing the left hand side coil and the south pole is facing the right hand side coil. Now all the three are at rest. Whenever all the three are at rest, there is no deflection in the galvanometer. Even though the field lines are passing through both the coils, that means there is a flux linked with respect to the solenoid coils present on the left and right hand side. So whenever there is no motion, there is no current. What Faraday did, he just simply moved the bar magnet towards the solenoid coil. Now if you clearly observe that whenever the magnet is moved towards the solenoid coil that is present on the left hand side, you can see that the front face of the coil will develop a similar pole. That means whenever a magnetic pole is moved towards the coil, a similar pole is developed on the front face of the coil. In the same way, as the south pole is moving away from the right hand side coil, it develops an opposite pole. That means whenever a magnetic pole is moved away from the solenoid coil, it develops an opposite pole. So remember these 2 points. Towards means a same pole will develop, away means opposite pole will develop. Now if I change the poles, that means instead of north pole, I want to move south pole towards the left hand side coil. Again you can see that the front face will develop south pole, whereas as the north pole is moving away from the right side coil, the front face of the right side coil will have south pole. Now, so in the previous experiment we have seen that whenever there is a movement of magnet, then there is induced current. That means whenever the flux linked with respect to the coil changes, then only there is induced current. Here also you can see I am taking only one solenoid coil which is connected to a galvanometer and a bar magnet such that the north pole of the bar magnet is facing the solenoid. You see the field lines? Now the field lines are linked with respect to the solenoid coil. Even then there is flux, there is no current. But whenever I am going to move the bar magnet towards the solenoid coil, you can observe that there is induced current. Now at this moment, if I stop moving the bar magnet, even though the field lines are passing through the solenoid coil, there is no current in the galvanometer. So induced current is produced only whenever there is a relative motion between the magnet and the solenoid coil. So magnetic flux linked with the coil changes relative to the position of the coil and the magnet due to the magnetic lines of force cutting at different angles at the same cross-sectional area of the coil. So what we observe? The relative motion between the coil and the magnet, the induced polarities of magnetism in the coil, the direction of current through the galvanometer and hence the deflection of the galvanometer, that the induced current is available only as long as there is relative motion between the coil and the magnet. Note, coil can be moved by fixing the magnet also. Not only the magnet, we can also move the coil. Both the coil and the magnet can be moved towards or away from each other. There should be relative velocity between them. Then only you can find current in the galvanometer. Whenever the pole is going to change, the deflection in the galvanometer will also change. Magnetic flux linked with the coil changes relative to the position of the coil and the magnet. Current and hence the deflection is large if the relative velocity between the coil and the magnet and hence the rate of change of flux across the coil is more. That means more change in flux, more induced current in the galvanometer or the coil. Faraday experiment 2. Now here in the experiment 2, what he did was he took a solenoid coil which is connected with respect to a battery, but the key is open, and he took another solenoid coil which is connected with respect to a galvanometer. Now if you see, a current carrying conductor will produce magnetic field. So the left side coil which is connected to a battery will produce magnetic field whenever the key is closed. Whenever the key is closed, the current is said to pass through the coil, immediately develops magnetic field around it. Whenever it develops magnetic field around it, now you can see that there is some deflection in the galvanometer. But once the current is completely constant, then there is no deflection in the galvanometer. But when you open the key, again you can find some deflection in the galvanometer which is present on the right hand side. So whenever you close or whenever you open, immediately there is a change in current in the coil. That means initially it is 0 and it goes to maximum. At that instant there is a change in magnetic field produced by the coil. So the field lines linked with respect to the right side coil will also change and there is current. But once the current becomes constant, there is no change in flux. That's why again the galvanometer come back to 0. So no current will be there. In the same way, when you open the key, now again the current goes to 0 from maximum value. So there is a change in current. Whenever the current changes, the magnetic field produced by it will also changes. As a result, the field lines linked with respect to the coil will also changes. That means flux changes. Therefore, there is again induced current. So when the primary current grows from 0 to maximum value, during this period, changing current induces changing magnetic flux across the primary coil. This change in magnetic flux linked across the secondary coil and induces EMF in the secondary coil. Induced EMF and hence deflection in galvanometer lasts only as long as the current in the primary coil and hence the magnetic flux in the secondary coil change. So when the price is open, current decreases from maximum value to 0. During this period, changing current induces magnetic flux across the primary coil. This changing magnetic flux is linked across the secondary coil and induces current in the secondary coil. However, note that the direction of current in the secondary coil is reversed and hence the deflection in the galvanometer is opposite to the previous case, because initially the current is increasing and later in the second case the current is decreasing. So the polarity will change. From this we are going to describe and define Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. First law. Whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with a circuit, an EMF and hence a current is induced in the circuit. However, it lasts only so long as the magnetic flux is changing. This is the most important point and the first law. Second law. The magnitude of the induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with a circuit. That means more change in magnetic flux, more induced current, less change in magnetic flux, less induced current. So E is directly proportional to d phi by dt. E stands for EMF. d phi by dt means rate of change of magnetic flux. Implies E is equal to some constant k into d phi by dt, which implies E equal to d phi by dt, where k is 1, which is equal to phi 2 minus phi 1 by